Good evening, dear students. I welcome you all on behalf of Rishabad University for this session that we have today on neuromarketing, the game changer for new age careers. We will be waiting for another 2 minutes for our other students to join in. For those who have already joined, I would like to share the flow of the day, as in flow of the webinar. We will be having fun session with Mr. Siddharth Shahi. He will be introducing the concepts with you about neuromarketing, neuroscience, forensic, and criminologies. And then we can have a Q&A session with him. You may drop in your Q&As in the chat box or in the Q&A session, and we will be taking up the Q&As at the end of the session. We will wait for another 1 minute for other students to join in, and then we shall start. Okay, I think we can start. Good evening, dear students. I'm Sunita Sharma. I'm the Assistant Director with Rishabad University Admissions and Marketing team. And today we have with us Mr. Siddharth Shahi. Mr. Siddharth Shahi is a neuroscientist, worked in 3 countries and in diverse areas of neuromarketing, neuroscience, forensic, and criminology departments, as well as in the field of neuropsychology. Siddharthi has passed out from National Forensic Science University and is a gold medalist and has numerous international research publications in this field. So I would like to welcome Mr. Siddharth Shahi. Welcome, sir. And we have students who are very much curious about this neuromarketing and all the new words that we have taken in this session right now. They will be having a lot of queries about this. So I would request you to please take them to these new concepts and how these new concepts will be a game changer for the new age careers. Over to you, sir.
Good evening, guys. First, let's talk about the topics in particular, and let's then go to the Q&A session. So let's first talk about neuromarketing. In their quest to sell as many products as possible, marketers have always tried to see into the consumer's minds, right? But now they literally can see into the people's brains. It's called neuromarketing, and it's an increasingly popular method for testing new products and determining consumer tastes. If you are in business management or are considering going through management training to become a manager, you should have a good understanding of how neuromarketing works. It could help you lead your business to greater success, right? Now, talking about the difference between traditional marketing and neuromarketing, traditional marketing research tries to understand the consumer's decision-making process from a conscious viewpoint, whereas neuromarketing aims to understand consumers' behavior through many brain scans, you can say. The problem with conventional marketing research is that it relies heavily on the consumer self-reporting, what they think, what they feel and believe, right? Our perception of the world around us is usually driven by our mood and can change frequently. Sometimes we may even hold one view consciously while subconsciously believing something else, otherwise knowing as cognitive dissonance. So it's not that we are hypocrites, it's just that contradictory creatures with competing desires we are. So this is why marketers can't blindly rely on consumer survey and focus groups. So it's because of this human bias that neuromarketing exists. Neuromarketing is relatively new marketing discipline that complements traditional research with information that cannot be obtained through the old-fashioned techniques. Talking about the importance of neuromarketing in digital marketing and e-commerce these days. So neuromarketing gives you the most direct path to understand and therefore change a user's behavior, which is the central goal of marketing, right? By focusing on the behavioral science, you can bypass the conscious bias which people have and identify automatic reactions that tend to be universal across all human beings. In simpler words, we can say that neuroscientific research helps marketers to understand their target audience better than their target audience can understand themselves. So this leads to a better marketing tactics and increased sales. Neuromarketing is more important than ever because it's increasingly difficult for marketers to get their audience's attention in the first place. So let's talk about how it is used these days. Talking about the past decade, neuromarketing has been used by many top companies seeking new insights into what consumers want and don't want, more importantly. Here are a few ways in which neuromarketing has been used. Testing the advertisements. Major ad companies don't reach the consumers until after they complete focus group testing. Now, some marketers are using neuro scanning to add a second level of scrutiny. When people's brains are scanned while being shown an ad, scientists can see what part of each person's brain gets activated, right? Revealing whether the person is pleased or is upset with that particular advertisement. This can give a more accurate reading of how people are responding to an ad than simply relying on the focus groups. Talking about the use in optimizing design. Prior to neuromarketing, most designers followed standard design principles and assumed that that was good enough. But with the neuromarketing scanning technology, designers can learn exactly what a consumer's gaze is falling on a particular design. This has helped marketers better lay out print ads and websites to ensure the consumers' gazes are falling on most important parts, most important informations first. Also talk about improving packaging where neuromarketing is used. So neuromarketing can help marketers determine the appeal of a product's packaging before it even hits the shelves of people, right? One famous case of this involves the Frito-Lay. Now, when the company wanted to improve the sales among women, they learned that many women did not buy potato chips because they felt guilty. But through the power of neuromarketing, they got to know that the company discovered the packaging that was used had softer colors and the pictures of ingredients in the chips lessened with a sense of guilt. So Frito-Lay used the results to redo the packaging for the most of their product line. Also, choosing the perfect color, neuroscience can tell us if the colors are deeply tied onto our emotions. Experts in marketing have taken this research and redefined it for the purpose of attracting the right consumer to the right product. For example, cold and dark colors like violet and navy blue cannot denote stability, and the quality are good for automobile companies, right, and government agencies. On the other hand, cold and bright colors like silver, turquoise, etc., denote modernity and professionalism and are good for health and cosmetic products.
So, sorry to interrupt you here, Dr. Shahi. I just wanted to understand. So, you're saying that nowadays, even in the marketing, a lot of neuroscience is being used, and the new age marketers should have a good understanding of the neurosciences as well.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Actually, like in every arena of management these days, we do need neuromarketing, also AI and IoT. Like all these technologies should be taken into account while studying management, and one who is planning to be a manager, training to be a manager. Right now, for those who are like aspiring to be in the design field, in the creative fields also, we can talk about the AI and IoT thing, which we have introduced in our curriculum. So I'll tell you how it works in the creative department. Starting with the AI thing. So AI, which assists the new product development these days. Like for example, by tracking design elements like colors, fabrics, patterns, and the cut, as well as their past retail performance and the future performance indicators. AI reinforces and gives you the credibility to the creative decision-making process of the product development in fashion. AI can work as a designer for you using a powerful algorithm that does the analysis part. It designs and future with according to the future trends. AI also makes the new apparel's designs complete with sewing patterns. Retailers can choose to send AI designed apparels straight to manufacturing or incorporate this as an additional step to automate the pattern making and fit the process. So human designers can then make the alterations or on these pre-designed garments to significantly speed up the design market time to the market time. So like, for example, wearable technology these days is very famous, and smart fabrics also. You must have heard about all these things, although still at an infant stage, but AI has controlled smart textiles and promise clothing that delivers added value to the wearer. An increased performance, of course, enabled communication, conduct energy, and even grow with the wearer. Like these kind of clothes are there in the market today, which can even grow with the wearer. That is called a smart fabric, right? And on the other hand, as more fashion brands shift towards environmentally responsible practices, AI in the biotech facilitates the production of alternative materials that are cruelty free and fully biodegradable. Talking about the benefits of AI, predictive analysis, as we all know that through automated product tagging, AI analysis markets and product and the performance on a per attribute level. Buyers are informed not only on the products that are performing well, but also on the detailed attributes like which color, which print, which sleeve, which neckline, and more, right? Trend forecasting, AI collects and does the analysis and interprets rich data from the social media, e-commerce platforms, and the runway to spot future fashion trends for each product category. Talking about the styling and merchandising platforms, so AI and IoT can help you personalize the styling, and like things like visual merchandising, performance analysis. It can help you in supply chain, improved efficiency, agility, and sustainability. Understanding the customer and market better reduces the production of styles that won't sell, which directly translates into the lower products waste. Also improved efficiency, improved agility, improved sustainability. So this is how I guess AI works in e-commerce and designing thing as well. Now, should we talk about psychology now?
Yes, definitely, sir. As in, I think students are very much curious about the psychology as a subject as well, because I think after COVID time, psychology or the mental health is what requires more and more attention. And nowadays, students are very much keen about pursuing psychology as a psychology as a subject, and they also want to understand which are the all streams which are available in the field of psychology which they can pursue.
Right. So, as you all know, like the traditional psychology was always there, and we have introduced some novel psychology courses here at the university. For example, the forensic psychology, criminal psychology, and also neuropsychology. Now, talking about forensic psychology, as a discipline, forensic psychology explores the connection between the human behavior and the justice system, serving as the application of psychology to issues relating to the legal systems, right? With the forensic psychology definition in mind, it's important to understand that professionals working in the forensic psychology are tasked with improving the relationships between individuals and the legal system by assessing, evaluating, and treating offenders and victims. And this is why forensic psychology is so important. Forensic psychologists are interested in understanding why certain behaviors occur and using psychological analysis to minimize the negative behaviors in the future. By gleaning tools, ideas, and clinical research from psychology and applying them to the complex legal situations, forensic psychologists have the critical ability to promote the psychological well-being of individuals, communities, and organizations as well within a legal framework. Um, you must have seen people who work in the arena of psychology in CBI and FBI also. So that is the application area for both forensic psychology and criminal psychology as well. Now let's talk about criminal psychology. A criminal psychologist works in an area that blends psychology with the field of criminal justice. Criminal psychologists often work with members of the judicial systems, law enforcement, and other agencies and provide their expert analysis in a number of areas. Much of a criminal psychologist's job is to conduct the research, evaluate behavior, and write reports. So criminal psychologists might evaluate the thoughts and the behavior of criminal offenders. They also determine the ability of the accused to stand trial and provide the expert testimony during a trial regarding the defendant's mental state during the commission of the crime. The criminal psychologists may also work with victims of the crime to help them overcome the traumas associated with their experiences. Many criminal psychologists also work with the offenders after they have been convicted or in order to help them rehabilitate them for eventual re-entry into the general population. Now talking about neuropsychology. So neuropsychology combines elements of neurology and psychology. Neuropsychologists study the effects that psychological conditions have on the nervous system. So neuropsychology, I guess, is something which works on the software and hardware both of the brain, because psychology, counseling psychology is something which works on the software part too much. Also the clinical psychology, you can say, but neuropsychology is something which works a little bit in the software and a little bit on the hardware part, you can say, of the brain, including the brain and spine. And they may also research ways in which changing brain chemistry due to injuries, hormones, or environmental factors that can affect mental health. So neuropsychologists evaluate and treat people with various types of nervous system disorders. They work closely with doctors, including neurologists. Illnesses, and diseases of the brain and nervous system can impact a person from the way by the way he thinks and behaves. Symptoms that may call for a neuropsychologist include memory difficulties, mood difficulties, learning difficulties, nervous system dysfunction, trauma, and like a lot of neurological conditions as well as psychological conditions as well. So if other doctors can't identify the cause of a symptom, a neuropsychologist can help determine a diagnosis. If a diagnosis is already known, an assessment can still be helpful. A neuropsychologist can help determine what impairments you might have and how severe they are. The following are examples of conditions they evaluate and treat. A stroke or a cerebrovascular attack can affect behavior. thinking, memory, and other brain functions in obvious and subtle ways. They can perform an evaluation to help determine the degree of the stroke impairment. Parkinson's disease, you must have heard of, a progressive disorder it is, can cause several neurological impairments. A neuropsychologist's exam can provide a baseline to help them determine disease progression and decreased function. Alzheimer's disease also you must have heard, and other types of other dementia can interfere with memory, personality, and cognitive abilities of a person. A neuropsychologist can perform an exam to help them identify it in the early age, in the early stage. Now, traumatic brain injuries, TBI, can cause a wide variety of symptoms. A neuropsychologist can help determine how an injury affects functions like reasoning or problem-solving skills. Also, a neuropsychologist can help determine which of the many types of learning disabilities someone has and develop a treatment plan. So this is, I guess, pretty much about all these fields, different subjects. And yeah, sure. We'll take your questions now.
Yes, thank you, sir. I think we have one student, Shashwat Singh, who wants to, who has raised a hand and has a query. So I'll just allow Shashwat to ask his question. Shashwat, you can speak now. You can unmute yourself. Shashwat, you have any question for Mr. Siddharth? Okay, I think he does not have a question, or he's not able to unmute him. Okay, so we have one question from Mr. Hardik Chopra, and he's asking that he wants to understand more about medical stream, and he has later on dropped a question about MBBS. So Hardik, yes, MBBS is one of the option in the medical stream, I would suggest you. But medical stream is not limited to only MBBS. Okay, there are so many other options for the medical students. So I think Mr. Siddharth would be able to throw some extra light on that, as in the field of psychology itself. How many options you have got? Yes, Mr. Siddharth.
Right. So the first thing is, if you want to do research or practice, you can definitely go for MBBS. The second thing is, if not MBBS, then like for example, you can go for neuroscience or neuropsychology in your masters, and then you can start with practice. These days, Government of India has like removed MPhil from most of the courses. So after the master's course, basically you can start with your practice. Like talking about neuropsychology, yes, you can practice after you be a neuropsychologist in India after your master's degree, basically. And I don't think there's a university in India who has neuropsychology, criminal psychology, and forensic psychology together. And so this is why I think it's an edge to be here, because we are providing with all these courses in under one roof.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Siddharth. And yes, as Mr. Siddharth has mentioned that, even after pursuing psychology or clinical psychology, there are so many, specializations and fields which are available even after psychology. So other than psychology, there are so many other fields which are available in the field of in the medical field other than MBBS. You can become a radiologist, and you can become, there are so many other options, like if you want to pursue cardiovascular technology or any other field. And if you have noticed, after COVID, there is a huge requirement for the proper hospital administration or public health administration, because we have seen in the first wave of COVID, the medical services were, the specialists were available, but I think the administration was not good, because of which we had lost a lot of lives. So nowadays there is a option available for the student to pursue public health at their graduation level, and hospital administration. Yes. Because having medical staff at hospital is one thing, but having a very good administration so that the whole mechanism works, at the maximum efficiency level. That is what is important in
Yeah,
today's
definitely.
scenario. So this is these are the other options. You should always have plan A, plan B, plan C. So I would suggest students that you should, not limit yourself to one or two options only. Explore. You should always look out for the new age careers. As in, what is the demand in future? Supposedly, if you start your MBBS today, it is going to take 5 years. After 5 years, what is the scope? Right? So you should always have the plan A, plan B, plan C with you, and start working on them. You should explore your plans now. You should get in touch with people like Siddharji, or the career counselors like us, so that we can guide you as in which all options are available to you. And that is also true that not every student can take up all the options. So for that, where you need career counseling, right? Which are your strong areas? As Siddharji has mentioned, there are so many tests basis on which we can understand what are your strong areas and which you should pursue, right? So there are so many kind of tests which are available, which we can help you out to choose out the right career for you. Let me take the next question, Siddharji. Okay. Then we have Kanan Mehra, who wants to understand, explain about engineering. Explain to engineering, he is saying. Okay. So what role, in the field of engineering, Mr. Siddharth, you see that, neuropsychology can play?
Uh, I really think
You
that
mentioned about you use the terms like artificial intelligence and
yeah,
machine learning.
that's
So
exactly I
I
was
think
coming.
that
Yeah.
there is one connection between engineering and psychology.
So there's a saying in India that an engineer can do anything. So yeah, definitely. I mean, these days psychology, and let's not talk about how psychology works only in India, because if you see worldwide, they don't rely on the traditional psychological paper pen tests now. They want the involvement of IoT. They also want the involvement of AI in everything, almost everything, and they need the person to know softwares like E Prime and like quite a bit of coding also, Python, MATLAB, and stuff. So it's very easy for engineering students, honestly speaking, to be fine with all these things. Be fine with the Python, MATLAB, and all these things. And I really think so. Psychology is not limited for only like philosophy or maybe something not only limited for the humanities things. Psychology is applicable for any student. I've seen many people doing MBBS, and then they choose the psychology masters further. Also, like I'll tell you one thing: if you plan to migrate to any country in this world,
Mm-hmm.
there you can see that any country's skill shortage list, Australia, UK, New Zealand, Canada, you can see that in every country's skill shortage list, psychology is listed as the skill shortage list, as a skill shortage uh, occupation. The reason is they don't have enough psychologists and all, and they recognize the Indian masters and Indian bachelors equivalent to theirs. So they always give edge to those who want to migrate or who want to work in their country. After studying in India, they get that edge. I mean, I've also like went abroad after studying in India only. So that's what the thing is. I really believe that an engineering grad or like an MBBS grad or whosoever wants to can definitely like jump into psychology, and it's not a very different thing from how you are living. Psychology is something you are doing it, like every now and then you are doing it.
I understand, and using putting its application in the various fields. So I think, Kanan, for the engineering, you wanted to understand the various options which are available in the field of engineering. So you'll have to really be very clear as in which field of engineering interests you more, because in the engineering there are so many options. Engineering is really vast. So for this, Kanan, what I would suggest you, probably you can have a one-on-one call with one of our counselors, and we can definitely explain you after understanding, as in, which branch of engineering you are looking up to. But yes, if you are looking up for artificial intelligence, IoT, or machine learning, or automation, cyber security. So yes, psychology can also play a very important part there. But yes, for the various options which are there in the field of engineering, we will get in touch with you and we will definitely take up your question in detail for engineering. And as Siddharth, you have just mentioned that outside India also there are so many options.
Yeah.
So one of our student, Hanshika, Manik wants to understand that what are the career options for the fields that you have mentioned? What are the career options available in India? Which all fields these students can get into?
Okay, so like in India, after we are talking about psychology right now.
Yes, I think the student
Okay.
is asking the question about the
Okay.
specializations which you have mentioned, sir.
Okay, fine. So like talking about forensic criminology, then they work like I've seen people working with CBI and stuff also, because these days it's very common for government to work with psychologists. They need psychologists, and they're literally falling short of psychologists. Also, like many other organizations also need forensic psychologists, like talking about DRDO and stuff. Indian Army, of course, has the requirement of psychologists also,
Yes.
criminal psychologists also. Neuropsychologists are hired in like proper hospitals, basically like Zydus Cadila and stuff, Zydus and all. So they are hired in this way. Now, talking about students going to abroad, the problem is when you go to abroad for studying psychology only, so it costs a lot, a huge amount. And the thing is, you can study in India and still have the equivalency of that degree itself, like and you get to migrate to other countries very easily also, because of the masters you have done, because of the course you have done, because they have skill shortage occupation of the psychology field itself. Talking about these a particular forensic and criminology thing, so they work with a lot of government organizations also, and there are a lot of private organizations also which hire criminal psychologists and forensic psychologists also these days.
Sure, sir. Thanks a lot. And yes, as sir has mentioned, because you all are you'll be aspiring your undergraduate programs very shortly. So students, this is really important, as sir has mentioned, that you can always pursue your UGs from a university in India. You should always look what kind of course you want to go for. But yes, you should try to pursue your courses, UG courses from India, and then basis on the equivalence, probably you can look at the options outside India. So this is what sir is suggesting. Let me come to the next question. Before that, I think Saurabh Besha has raised his hand. Just a moment. Let me just check if he wants to. Saurabh, we have allowed you to ask your question. You can unmute yourself. Okay, I think he's again not able to unmute. All clear. Yes, Saurabh, you were saying something?
Ma'am, what is Python?
Okay, you want to understand what is Python. Mr. Siddharth, would you like to take this question?
Yeah, so it's basically the computer language like C, C++, Java. So Python is a computer language. The thing is, it's pretty easier than the other languages, and it's widely used. At least now, if you see most of the softwares and like a lot of like mostly, so Python is used for the majority of softwares which are in use today. So Python is today's computer language, I guess, and it's really easy to use and it's really easy to learn also.
It's a programming language, very well said, because in the field of computer science, it is vastly being used nowadays. Most of the computer science engineers would be knowing Python. So
Yeah.
this is actually a very trending language, which is
very
being pursued
like,
by most of the students. Yeah.
It's compulsory for like a lot of engineering colleges also.
Okay, great. Okay, so one question, a very interesting question has come from Abhishek Singh, because when we talk about these courses, I think students have one perception that this is only open for the medical stream students only. this Abhishek Singh wants to understand that what are the options available for the humanities student, and this is one question. And also he wants to understand that if through psychology we understand AI so very well, so would it replace the creative jobs? These are the two questions Abhishek has asked.
Okay. Right. For the humanities students, first thing is I really believe whatever you do, if you sit down for 2 weeks, literally 2 weeks, and you just like even you go to YouTube, I guess you can learn Python. It's not very tough. And the thing is, it's very important to learn Python these days. I mean, I emphasize on learning Python really too much because I really believe that it can enable you, it can open a lot of doors for you basically. That's what the thing is. Now talking about humanities, it's not a problem if you belong to humanities or bio or mathematics. Believe me, if like the thing is, you have to go to the automation part, you have to go to these AI, IoT, you have to be aware of these things, you know, to be able to like land a good job also, because you'll be able to uh, tell the skills to the recruiting person, right? That you have acquired these all these skills, and that's basically makes up the base for your profile. Talking about AI replacing the creative things, so I really believe that yeah, a lot of people talk about this, but that's not going to happen at all, because AI won't be able to think beyond the human mind ever. So that won't be possible. Like that won't be possible. Don't worry about that.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. And also to the students, there is one suggestion that I would like to give. Uh, though in the various boards you have been limited to particular courses, but nowadays online there are so many courses available. If humanities student wants to pursue some courses of the, say, AI, the beginner level courses, or anything else attracts to you, you want to understand the accounting as a humanities student. So I think there are various options available online. You can go to Coursera or any other online websites wherein the courses, very short term courses, are available. You can identify the such courses online, and if you want, we can definitely help you out. And please pursue such courses so that you have better understanding of the various fields, right? So these courses will definitely help you out. And let me also explain to you that nowadays when you apply with good universities, they will always check as in what profile have you made, what are the extra things that you have done other than your academic thing, what extra curricular have you done, what extra knowledge have you gained during your school time. So I suggest to all the students that please uh, go online, check the courses which are available and add it to your profile. For any such assistance, our team will be happy to help you out. We will be reaching out to you individually, and our counselors will help you out to build a good profile, right? So this we will help you out with. I'll come to the next question. We will be taking up these questions for next 5 minutes only, and then we will be closing this session. So any students who have any further questions, please drop in your questions here. Okay, so I have a student, Kashish Gupta. The student says that I have taken PCM with computer science, but don't want to do BTech. So is there any other good career option? I think this is one question which I feel that many students have, because after 10th, under the peer pressure, or because some uncle had suggested, or some bhaiya had suggested, students take PCM or they take PCB, but later on they are very clear that I do not want to go into engineering, or I do not want to go into the medical field only. So this student wants to understand if there is any other option for me. So what option would you suggest, Mr. Shahi, for the students?
So I really believe that I would to be very particular about the career she chooses. I really would have to know what all she's good at, what all she wants to do. That I guess you would be able to like communicate to her and all. But talking about still talking about things, if you have good hold on computer science and these things, then you can definitely go in UI UX also. Communication design is something which is very related to this thing, but it's not BTech. It's communication design. It's very different thing from that. Also, like for example, we have this entrepreneurship course. I really think that. So I'll tell you one thing out of this. So TVF pictures, if people have seen here, they started in TVF pictures. It's a YouTube series. So it's about four friends starting a startup. Basically, they were entrepreneurs. So they started their journey from their college itself, and they didn't have too much exposure to the entrepreneurship thing basically, but they did in their college years, and then they moved further when they were doing like their jobs and all. So now I really believe that every software these days is tech based, be it anything, be it even in the sector of dairy farming. The startup would require the tech part. There's always a CTO in any startup basically. So that's where I believe that if you know the basics of entrepreneurships from your college itself, and if you start really early, it'll be like an amazing asset for you to have entrepreneurship things served to you basically. And also, if you are good at Python and computer science things, then you'll be able to like crack down a lot of things.
Yes, and also I think when a student is good at computer science, so this is not necessary that they get into the computer science field only. So yes, the universities like Rishihood. If I talk about Rishihood University, here I give options to the student. They can if they want to study economics, or if they want to study BBA. But as a minor, if they want to study computer science,
Yeah,
I really
exactly.
give this option to the student. As a design student, you want to pursue communication design, but you also want to study some part of law. So here we also offer law as a minor to the student, right? So one important thing which I would like to bring to your notice, dear students, that whenever you opt for a stream after class 10th, you really have to be very careful. But now, because you most of you must be in class 11th or 12th, and you have already opted for your streams. But now when you go for a undergrad course, at that time, please select your course very
Yeah.
with a lot of R&D. You should be very careful while selecting your course at undergraduate program, because that is what is going to be the foundation for your
Right.
for your professional life. So please be very careful, make an informed choice, get in touch with the good career counselors, please do well R&D, and there just don't limit yourself. Like sir has mentioned, that psychology can be used with so many other options, it can be used in so many ways. So with us, if you want to study economics and as a minor you want to have psychology, as an economist maybe you'll have to have understand the consumer behavior also, wherein psychology can help you understand that. So please choose a university which helps you to make your own combinations, because every student may be having a different strength, right? You may have different interest areas. So always you should go for universities which gives you various options. Over here, if you want to pursue a 4 years degree program wherein you can complete with one major and one minor, right? So these are the various options which you should look up to. Also, universities should also offer a multidisciplinary curriculum to you. They should not limit you. A BCom student is only confined to the commerce subjects only. There has to be multidisciplinary approach in the universities. You should have
Right.
exposure to the various aspects now, right? So please look out for such universities which give you these kind of exposures. Uh, and I'll come to the next question. These are, we'll be taking last two questions now. Okay, this is one interesting question that I've got from Harshita. So she's saying that in today's scenario, what matters most? How much in depth you know about a particular field, or how do you know how many fields do you know? And what do you know about the various fields? So as in, I think she wants to understand, is it good to understand one particular subject in depth, or some knowledge of about each subject is better? What is best? What is better? So as per you, what is good, sir?
So I believe I have people who have studied engineering their whole life. I know them. I know them. So if you study, for example, if you study engineering, as per, let's say, so you do your BTech, then you do your MTech. In this thing, the only problem is you stay you are confined to your field only. That's the only, you have a cap basically, that you can, like, it's about money also, and also about the position, that you can't go ahead of that. Now there are people who go for MBA after engineering, and then, like, a huge amount, a huge number of engineers go for MBA, and this is the only reason, because they don't want to stay as only in the, like, engineering field. They also want to explore the management side, and they can also be CEO afterwards, right? For example, like, you can say, pick any CEO in US who is, like, all of them are Indians, of course. You can pick them and you can see their CVs. They have done their engineering, and then they go for their management degrees, and then, this is how their career works. So I'm not saying any of either of these are bad choice or anything that like that, but it depends on what you want to be. That is the thing. That's the main thing.
Right. And I think it depends on the individual as well.
Yeah.
Harshita, like, you may want to excel in one particular subject, but at the same point, your fellow colleague or your friend might want to do, a little bit of everything. So yes, one, this is a very individual based thing, because, for you, success may be earning a huge amount of money, but for the other person, success may be peace of mind, right? So the requirement, these are the individualistic things. But yes, what I would suggest, at the class 11th and 12th, and to some extent at the UG level also, you may experiment and you may find which area interests you the most. And then after that, if you want to still study further, then by graduation, I think a person knows what interests the person most and where is the expertise lie. And after that, probably you can do your master's program. As sir has mentioned that most of the people do their MBA, but they do MBA after some work experience. Once they have the real time experience in the field, when they have worked in the market, then they actually understand that what is the best that they can do, and then they try to go for the expertise in that field. So I think you should first do the graduation as per your initial interest area, have some experience of the field, and then whatever is the best field you think you can excel at, then you should go for your master's in that field, right? Okay. And this last question we will be taking, and I think this is very important. Is school education everything? What's your take on this, Siddharth sir?
So I really believe that school education makes the base of your knowledge. I'm not talking about CGPA. I'm not talking about percentage. Honestly speaking, just browse through internet and you'll know that there are IAS and IPS officers in this country who have failed their class 12th and class 10th also. Like, there are people who have failed their class 12th, class 10th and all. The only thing is your basics should be clear, and that's it. I really don't think that CGPA matters. I mean, I've been working for a long time, and nobody has even asked me for my CGPA or my percentages ever. But people ask about your skill set. People ask about your skill set, not your percentage, for sure. And your skill set would be solid after you have a good base, and that base comes from schools. So yeah, have your concepts clear, and that would be pretty it, I really guess. If you have your basics very clear, then it won't matter if you have 60 or you have 70 or you have 90 or you have 99. Like I have seen people who have scored 95 and 96 in their class 12th, and like I know a person who like scored 99 out of 100 in maths. But yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people who have done this, and I also know people who scored just 45. I mean, 45 is really low, but he scored 45 and he's doing amazing now. So it depends upon the concept and what you want to exactly study. Now, if, for example, if someone scores 40 out of 100 in mathematics in class 10th, but in 11th and 12th, he takes biology and he doesn't want to study maths at all. And he, biology, in biology, he has no need to study mathematics as per se. So it doesn't mean that he won't be a good doctor. He can be an amazing doctor. So this is, I really believe, what you want to study is more important. Yeah, that's how it is.
So true, sir. Yes, school education is important, but is not everything.
Yeah.
I think there is always a scope of improvement. You should always give yourself a chance to excel. If you were not able to do good in your class 10th, it should not be a point of disappointment, or it should not be a point of not performing in your class 11th or 12th, or if you do not get good scores, because your marks cannot, explain, marks cannot tell everything about your personality. So that is why, nowadays good universities will always look at the profile of the student. A student who is not good at maths, but may be very good at arts, performing arts, or, in extracurricular
Absolutely.
activities, he really can add value to the university, right? So this is, what is important is about how much, exposure have you given to yourself, how many times you can fail, stand up again, and then again try.
Right.
So this is, life is all about that. It's not about only school education, but in every field. So I suggest every student that, you should not limit yourself to the school education only or to the mark sheet only, because nowadays good universities will not only look at your marks. Even, if you see nowadays, you will be offered admission even before your class 12 board results are out, because these universities will have your interviews, they will see at your profile, they will have entrance examination wherein they will check your aptitude, right? So, don't limit yourself to get good marks only in class 12. Yes, they will be, there is some eligibility criteria at every university, but there are various other factors which cannot be ignored, and you should always, keep upskilling yourself. Nowadays there are so many platforms which are available, so you should keep upskilling yourself. If you're good at sports, we will not ignore it. If a student has represented the state, or has played at the national level, it definitely adds value to your profile, so that will definitely be taken care of. So yes, school education is important, but this is not everything. Okay, so I really could see that, there are so many questions coming up. Kashish has asked one more question. Then we have Mohit Kesharwani, Arun Buddhi Raja, and there is Komal Madan. There are so many questions coming in, guys. We will we are running short of the time, so we will definitely get back to you. My counselors will get in touch with you. We will have one-on-one counseling with you, and we will also share one session with you people, as in on the WhatsApp. My team will get in touch with you, and tomorrow probably we'll get in touch with you over the calls. So be curious, keep asking yourself the, various options which you can pursue, and do not limit yourself. Any closing remarks, Mr. Siddharth, from your side?
No, I just would like to recall a story of Albert Einstein, that he literally failed in his school in social science subject, and then went on to become what he is. So, that's how it goes. If you, choose your paths and you excel your paths, like he did, basically. And because he knew exactly what he wants to do, and he did that. So definitely school education is very important, but you should know what you want. That's half your journey done.
So yes, be curious students and keep learning. And our team will get in touch with you. Thanks a lot for being such an interactive students, and I really could see a very good participation from all of you. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot, Siddharth sir,
Yeah.
for your precious time. Okay, thanks a lot. We will be closing now.